Hola, ok, ahora vamos a repasar la materia de esta semana. So I'm sad I can't be with you to talk about the indigenous populations because I really liked the readings that you guys did and I'm curious to see your thoughts. So when we meet again in a couple weeks, we'll have a little discussion about that. So the content for this week, week 9 overview. So this week, some of the material we're going to be covering are reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs are verbs where the action is done to oneself. So in English, we say, I'm going to take a shower. In Spanish, you say, I'm going to bathe myself. And so looking at these verbs, I put a few of them here: acostarse, afeitarse, bañarse, cepillarse. So they all end in se, which makes them unique. So as we conjugate them, the se is going to change to me, te, se, nos, os, y se. So you're going to conjugate that and put it before the verb and then also conjugate the verb. We're also going to cover some high frequency verbs and phrases with these verbs: necesitar, poder, y querer. And we're going to review from last week: acabar de, tener ganas de, and then pensar, all with the infinitive. Bien. So we've already gone through this week's tasks in the previous video. So we're going to, click ahead. If I can. Okay, so from last week we said pensar with the infinitive. So for example, yo pienso desinfectar mi casa esta noche. Or yo pienso estudiar, ¿verdad? That's the yo form. Nosotros pensamos estudiar. We went over tener ganas de, so tenemos ganas de vomitar. We feel like vomiting. Or yo tengo ganas de dormir. I feel like sleeping. Acabar de, you conjugate the verb, acabo de hacer la tarea. So yo acabo de hacer la tarea quiere decir I just did the homework. Or acabo de comer, I just ate. And so our new verbs for this week are going to be similar. You're going to have the verb conjugated and then another infinitive. So poder is to be able to, and it's usually followed by a verb. So I can speak Spanish. Yo puedo hablar español. So you see the verb conjugated: puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, y pueden. So it's a good idea to repeat these after me to practice. So it's puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, pueden. So for example, no puedo oír bien. I can't hear well. Or a question: ¿Tú puedes ayudarme, por favor? ¿Sí? Bien. So we're going to be practicing this verb, poder. The second verb is going to be necesitar. Again, the same structure followed by an infinitive verb. So necesito, necesitas, necesita, necesitamos, y necesitan. So necesito escuchar los pulmones. So I need to listen to your lungs. Necesito examinar su brazo. Usted necesita cuidar la infección. Eso también es un verbo muy útil, right? A really useful verb. Necesitar, all you need to know is how to conjugate it, and then you can follow it by a verb that's not conjugated, right? And the last one is one similar to the meaning of tener ganas de. So to want or to love. So querer, you probably heard this verb before: quiero Taco Bell, quiero. So conjugated, yo quiero, quieres, quiere, queremos, y quieren. It means to want, but it also means to love. So I put this down here: te quiero mucho, I love you a lot. And this is a love that is with friends, right? So you could use it with friends or with coworkers. It's not a romantic love. So amar is the verb in Spanish, a romantic love. This verb is different. So very, really useful verb as well. And you can conjugate it and then follow by an infinitive verb. So to want to do something. So quiero evitar el dolor. Or mi esposo quiere bajar de peso. So he wants to lose weight. Mi esposo y yo nos queremos. So we've practiced using verbs reciprocally. So an action that's done one to another, you can say this: nos queremos, so we love each other a lot. And we've also said like nos llevamos bien, we get along well, so the same context, or the same type of construction. And then, like I said, it's used with love, te quiero mucho, les quiero a mis sobrinos. And then this is the practice that you're going to be doing. So, practica con un compañero. So you're going to ask, ¿puedes contar a 1000 en español por 10? So can you count to 1,000 in Spanish by 100? So going through your 100. So 100, 200, así. So yes or no? Perdón. Puedes tocar la nariz con la lengua. So la nariz con la lengua. So can you touch your nose with your tongue? ¿Sí o no? Número 3. ¿Qué necesitas hacer esta semana? So practicing necesito. So what do you need to do this week? So necesito estudiar, algo así. Número 4. ¿Necesitas tomar más agua? So sí, yo necesito tomar agua. I have it here. So sí o no. Número 5. ¿Quieres ir a un concierto? Would you like to go to a concert? Sí o no. ¿Quieres salir a comer? Would you like to go out to eat? And then the last 3 are a review from last week. So, ¿qué piensas hacer durante el descanso? So you guys have a longer break today. So, ¿qué piensas hacer? What do you feel like doing, or what do you plan on doing? And then número 8, ¿qué tienes ganas de hacer ahorita? So, what do you feel like doing right now? And then, ¿qué acabas de hacer? Bien, so you're going to go through these questions. Practica con un compañero. Bien. So those are those 3 verbs, and now we're going to go ahead and look at reflexive verbs. So you can click next and look at this document. So reflexive verbs here, las acciones reflexivas. I'm going to pull it up a little bit bigger here. Bien, so with this activity, what you're going to do is these are all going to be new verbs for you. So you're going to go through and say, how do I conjugate these verbs? So just going through the basic conjugations of these verbs. Sorry, it's a little difficult with my head in the way. Entonces, conjugating these verbs, you're going to notice that they all have me, te, se, nos, o, si, se before them. So for example, a verb like this is going to be me despierto, te despierta, se despierta, nos despertamos. We'll skip that one, and then se despiertan. So when you conjugate it, you don't only change o, as, a, amos, y an, but you say me, te, se, nos, y se. Bien? And the same with all of these verbs. So when you practice this, you're going to say, como se dice, he wakes up, or he wakes himself up. You would say, se dice, él se despierta. Como se dice, we dry ourselves. So you would say down here, nosotros nos secamos. That one's actually missing. Oh no, it's right there. Nos secamos, perdón. Como se dice, he washes his hands. So you could add body parts as well. Él se lava las manos. Bien. So practica con estos. I just want to scroll down. There's a lot of them on here, and you're going to be practicing them this week. So you're going to choose a couple that you use frequently and focus on those. So don't be overwhelmed. You don't have to memorize them all, but it's good to be exposed to them, especially ones like this, to wash your hands. You could say, instead of to brush your teeth, you could say lavarse los dientes, to wash your teeth, is used as well. But I just want to scroll down and say, with all of these, of course, you do them to yourself. But then there's a little bit of information on here. Sorry, there's a lot of information in this document. Saying that you can say, for example, yo me despierto, I wake myself up. But if you wake someone else up, what you would do is take off the me. So then I wake up my husband. Yo despierto a mi esposo. And then the same, the mother gets up versus the mother gets your baby up. La madre levanta su bebé. Of course, you can, skipping out of this one, you can wash your hands, you can wash the car, you can wash the dishes. So these verbs don't always have to be used reflexively, but when they're talking about your daily routine or things that you do or taking care of your physical hygiene, they're used reflexively. Okay? So this is really good practice, reflexive verbs. Like I said, there's a lot of verbs in here. So I'm just going to go through and practice the pronunciation of some of these. You're going to do this also in a play posit. But I'll just go through the yo form of these if you want to practice. So it's yo me despierto. That should be, that should be there. Yo me levanto. Yo me baño, me ducho, me seco, me visto, me pongo, me lavo, me afeito, me rasuro, me peino, me cepillo, me maquillo, me desvisto, me quito, me acuesto, me duermo. These are extra. You won't see these in the play pause it, but these are just extra. Me paro, me pongo de pie, me siento, me divierto, me alisto, me arreglo, me enguajo, me relajo, me miro, me voy. Bien. Entonces, the last document you're going to look at is going to be, if you click next here, it's going to be busca una persona que, and this is an activity you're going to do with, again, with your partner. So primero, you're going to ask these questions. For example, ¿usted se ducha más que una vez diario? Sí, me ducho 3 veces al día. Right? Or no me ducho más que una vez al día. So you're going to go through each one of these questions and practice asking them to your compañeros. So we'll go through these in a minute. But as you're going through these, you can respond with this. Una vez al día, which is once a day, una vez al mes, una vez al año, una vez a la semana. Or you could say 2 veces, 3 veces al día, a la semana. So I put a lot of examples there, but you're just using the word once, una vez, or multiple times, 2 veces, yeah, more than once. And then you can use these words, siempre, nunca, a veces, con frecuencia, o de vez en cuando. Bien? Entonces, so these are the questions. Usted se baña con el jabón de Dial. So you bathe with Dial soap. Going down here, usted se ducha más que una vez diario. Do you shower more than once daily? Usted se quita tus zapatos antes de entrar a tu casa. So do you take your shoes off before entering your house? Usted hace ejercicio por la mañana. So do you exercise in the morning? Hace ejercicio. Bien. Looking up here, usted se maquilla antes de trabajar. So do you put on makeup before you go to work? Usted se acuesta antes de las 10 cada noche. Do you lay down and go to bed before 10? Usted se lava el pelo con el champú suave. So do you use this brand of shampoo, suave? Usted no se peina los domingos. So you take Sunday off, you don't comb your hair. Up here, usted se divierte en sus clases. You have a good time in your classes. Los viernes sale para bailar. You go out dancing on Friday night. Usted se afeita cada día. Do you shave every day? Usted se pone los calcetines antes de los pantalones. Do you put on your socks before your pants? So socks before your pants. And in the last column, se viste en el baño. Do you get dressed in the bathroom? Solo se cepilla los dientes una vez al día. Do you only brush your teeth once a day? Se despierta después de las 6 los fines de semana. So do you get to wake up after 6 on the weekends? And then the last one, toma una siesta en el sofá 2 veces a la semana. So do you frequently take a siesta, a nap, right? Hopefully you do, but that's kind of a luxury these days, right? Bien, so this is the last activity that you're going to do. Muy bien, so hopefully that is something that is not extremely difficult for you, but it's, again, good practice talking about reflexive verbs. And then once you go through that, record your conversation, you'll upload it right here. Okay? Muy bien, gracias. Espero que tengan buen día.